what makes a man finally commit. What if I told you most men don't avoid commitment because they're afraid of love? They avoid commitment because they're protecting something far more fragile: their sense of certainty. Have you ever watched a man spend years avoiding labels, avoiding conversations about the future, and insisting he wasn't ready, only to suddenly commit to someone else? It feels unfair. It feels confusing. And it makes people ask the same painful question: why wasn't I enough? But today, we're going to uncover the psychology behind what actually makes a man commit. Because the answer has far less to do with finding the perfect woman, and far more to do with what's happening inside his own mind. Let's begin. We've been taught that commitment happens when a man finally meets the one. It's a romantic idea, but psychology tells a different story. People don't commit simply because they meet someone amazing. They commit when attraction, timing, emotional maturity, trust, and personal readiness all collide at the same moment. Think about it like planting a seed. The seed may be healthy, but if the season is wrong, nothing grows. Relationships work the same way. Sometimes two wonderful people meet at the wrong stage of life. And sometimes an ordinary connection becomes extraordinary because both people are finally ready. That's why commitment isn't just about love. It's about readiness. Imagine a man named Daniel. He's successful, funny, kind. Women enjoy being around him. But every relationship follows the same pattern. Everything starts beautifully. The excitement, the late night conversations, weekend trips, plans, dreams. Then around 6 months, he begins pulling away. He becomes busy. Replies become slower. The future becomes a subject he avoids. Eventually, the relationship ends. His partners believe he was afraid of commitment. But Daniel wasn't afraid of commitment. He was afraid of losing control. Growing up, his parents had a chaotic marriage. Arguments, broken promises, constant uncertainty. Without realizing it, his brain connected commitment with emotional pain. Every relationship felt safe until it became serious. The closer someone got, the more his subconscious warned him to run. Not because he didn't care, because his brain believed leaving first was safer than being hurt later. One of the biggest misunderstandings about men is believing commitment is only logical. It isn't. It's deeply emotional. People often think women need emotional safety. The truth is, men do too. A man is far more likely to commit when he feels accepted instead of constantly judged. When he feels respected instead of controlled. When he believes the relationship is peaceful rather than emotionally exhausting. That doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means creating an environment where honesty feels safer than hiding. Because emotional safety allows vulnerability. And vulnerability creates commitment. Many men genuinely believe they'll be ready someday. After they earn more money. After buying a house. After building a successful career. After becoming the version of themselves they imagine. Psychologists call this the future self-illusion. We imagine that one day everything will finally feel perfect. But perfection never arrives. Life keeps moving. And if someone keeps waiting for certainty, they may spend years postponing happiness. The truth is, commitment rarely begins with certainty. It begins with courage. Here's something many men never admit out loud. They fear failing. not just failing themselves, failing someone they love, being unable to provide, making the wrong decision, choosing the wrong partner, getting divorced, losing everything. Society teaches men that they should always know what they're doing, always be strong, always have a plan. So uncertainty becomes embarrassing. Instead of admitting they're scared, some simply avoid making the decision altogether. Avoidance feels safer than risking failure. But avoidance slowly becomes loneliness. So what finally makes a man commit? Usually, it's not one dramatic moment. It's a series of emotional realizations. He realizes peace feels better than excitement. He realizes consistency matters more than endless options. He realizes genuine connection is rare. He realizes loneliness isn't freedom. It's just loneliness. As people grow older, priorities change. The thrill of endless dating slowly loses its appeal. Emotional stability becomes attractive. Trust becomes attractive. Kindness becomes attractive. The things that once seemed boring suddenly become priceless. That's emotional maturity. One word appears repeatedly in studies about long-term relationships: respect. For many men, feeling respected isn't about being worshipped. It's about feeling believed in, feeling appreciated, feeling like their efforts matter. Respect and love aren't competitors. They're partners. When respect disappears, love often follows. Healthy commitment grows where appreciation is mutual. Both people feel seen. Both people feel heard. Both people feel valued. Many people believe they can convince someone to commit by giving ultimatums, by proving their worth, by sacrificing more, by waiting longer. But commitment forced by pressure rarely lasts. Commitment inspired by emotional connection is different. Think of the difference between holding a bird in your hand and squeezing it. The tighter you squeeze, the more desperately it wants to escape. Healthy relationships leave room for choice. And real commitment is always a choice, never a prison. You'll often notice subtle changes. He begins introducing you to people who matter. He starts making future plans naturally. He asks for your opinion before making decisions. He talks about we instead of me. He becomes consistent. Not perfect. Consistent. Because commitment isn't a single proposal. It's hundreds of daily decisions saying, I'm choosing this relationship. Again. And again. And again. Here's the hardest truth of all. You cannot make someone become emotionally ready. You cannot love someone into maturity. You cannot heal wounds they refuse to face. You cannot force commitment through patience alone. The right relationship isn't built by convincing someone to choose you. It's built when two emotionally available people choose each other every single day. That's why some relationships feel effortless. Not because they never struggle, but because both people are committed to growing together instead of running apart. Maybe commitment isn't the reward for loving someone perfectly. Maybe it's the natural result of emotional readiness meeting genuine connection. And perhaps the real question isn't, how do I make someone commit? But, am I choosing someone who is emotionally capable of commitment in the first place? Because love alone isn't enough. Timing matters. Healing matters. Trust matters. And emotional maturity changes everything. If this episode made you see relationships differently, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the Hard Truth Podcast and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because sometimes the hardest truths are the ones that finally set us free. And before you go, here's one final question to think about. Is commitment really about finding the right person or becoming the right person first?